down here in Beluthahatchee, feeling amazingly inspired and getting some songs. Grateful to be here for this opportunity. Here we are together, yet we're birds of a feather. I hate that in my throat. Here we are together, yet we're birds of a feather. We're bound forever, through thick and thin. When you are on my mind, I always know the time will bring us back together once again. A fork in the river goes left or right. Well, they both flow for miles and miles and clean out of sight, but they meet again. It has to be all those wandering rivers flow back to the sea. We've seen the good old days, we've seen bad. Well, I find comfort in the memories of every moment that we've had. And even when we're miles apart, I can feel you by my side. The primal bond we share, time and space cannot divide. We're always together, yet we're birds of a feather. We're bound forever, through thick and thin. When you are on my mind, I always know the time will bring us back together once again. When you climb a mountain, there's no straight line. Go your way, my old friend, I go mine. Don't you look back for me, and don't you ever stop. I'll keep on pushing, I'll meet you at the top. Well, people come and people go. We take a little scrap of everyone that we ever know and stitch it together and make us whole. Everybody shares one quilted soul. All sewn together, yet we're birds of a feather. We're bound forever, through thick and thin. When you are on my mind, I always know the time will bring us back together once again. We'll be together, yeah, we're birds of a feather. We're bound forever, through thick and thin. When you are on my mind, I always know the time will bring us back together once again. Time will bring us back together once again. Beluthahatchee. Got a frog in my throat, and I guess it's a good place to get one. Hey, David, Lisa, and Karen, I just saw you. And Robin, how you doing, babe? Good to see you out there. Let's take that off. Well, I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty good. All my body parts seem to be working. I guess I better knock on wood. Hell, I went to my mailbox yesterday, and I don't owe any dues, no. Well, I ain't got the low-down blues. Well, I really can't remember the last time I shed a tear. And my baby really loved me. We ain't spoke a harsh word in years. And my pickup truck runs like a dream every time I go for a cruise, yeah. Well, I ain't got the low-down blues. Well, my dog is sitting here in my lap. She follows me wherever I go. She'll bring me a beer. She sits right here. And she follows all my favorite TV shows. Yeah, my kids, they're well adjusted. And they're living the life they choose. Well, I ain't got the low-down blues. I'll play the blues. You got your instrument out there and play with it now. It's in the key of A. To their parties, and they seem to be glad that I came. Well, I guess life could be better, but that depends on your point of view, yeah. Well, I ain't got the low-down blues. Well, my boss is one of the finest folks that ever did walk this earth. And I've just got me a pretty good raise, probably far more than I'm worth. Well, if life got any better, well, I'd have to be Howard Hughes. Well, I ain't got the low-down blues. Oh no, well, I ain't crying. Well, I ain't suffering. Well, I ain't got the low-down blues. That's all the blues I could come up with. I searched high and low for all the miserable things in my life. It just ain't that bad. As my friend Hugh Malik would say, it's good to be us. Let's do one more. Sonny had him a John Bow, a hound dog and a gallon of shine, sawed-off 14 shotgun, a beat-up guitar, a bottle of wine, and I got a fifth of wild turkey, a little weed, and an old mandolin. On a weekend vacation from civilization and this crazy world we're living in. Now somewhere downriver from White Springs, on a sandbar in the afternoon light, we set up our camp on the high ground and gathered some wood for the night. Well, we threw up facing the river and stood up our poles in the sand and broke out libations at sunset and proceeded to strike up the band. We had a whiskey and a wine, a bottle of shine, and a doobie around off the edge. The more that you drink, the better it tastes, and the further you get from the ledge. Well, the catfish are biting, but nobody cares once the music and the laughter begin. Then we passed out somewhere around midnight, drunk on the Swanee again. This terrible taste in my mouth, so I went for a swim in the river. I walked upstream and was floating back south when that hound started sniffing and howling, and Sonny started cussing at the hound, and we all saw that gator about the same time, swimming over to check out the sound. Now he was bigger than your average pine tree. For a moment, we were frozen in place until he let out a bellow that shattered the mellow, and he started to pick up his pace. Well, that hound let out for a pop gun, and Sonny let out for his gun. I ain't gonna claim that I was walking on water. Well, I believe it was more like a run. We had a whiskey and a wine, sweet Georgia shine, and a doobie around off the edge. The more that you drink, the better it tastes, and the further you get from the ledge. Well, that gator took off across the river with a mouthful of my mandolin, and we sat up well past sunrise and got drunk on the Swanee again. Yeah, we sat our asses way up on that sandbar, watching for that alligator to come back, and got drunk on the Swanee again. Yeah, yeah, face down in the Swanee again. So, it's a beautiful afternoon in Beluthahatchee Park, Florida. I'm here as part of an artist in residency program, and I'm very grateful to have been accepted for this, and I've come up with several songs already. I can't play them good enough to play them live and then humiliate myself, but you'll hear them soon enough. Should be something else to play, right? Well, Annie grew up in Baton Rouge, 17 years in a state of unrest. Her mama was a flapper down in New Orleans. Woke up one morning with a baby on her breast. A no-show daddy and a bitter mom made the little laddie want to see the world. And when the circus rolled through in 39, and he jumped the train with the Sarasota girls. Well, 82 miles till they hit the Big Easy. Whole train buzzing by the two-night stand. Siamese twins and a bearded lady, lions and tigers and a three-legged man. The big top jumped right out of the bayou. Signs went up, flags unfurled, and he caught a job in the dressing car, tying up corsets on the Sarasota girls. Well, the Sarasota girls ran wild and free. They had all the pictures on the big marquee, living every minute like it might be the end of the world. All the boys came around in the Cadillac cars, wax mustaches, Havana cigars, champagne, caviar, diamonds and pearls. Ain't nothing but the best for them Sarasota girls. Well, the show was a hit and the crowd went wild. They dropped all the curtains and the lights went down, and he dressed up like a mama used to do, and the Sarasota girls headed out on the town. Down in the French Quarter, 2 a.m., a little back alley off of Esplanade. A smoky little dive where there's only one rule: anything goes on the Vieux Carré. Well, one old Cajun had too much to drink. They started in the picking on the three-legged man. He filled his drink on the bearded lady, and that's pretty much when the fight began. A pistol went flying out of somebody's pocket, and he scooped it up off the barroom floor. The drunk whipped out a switchblade knife, and he shot twice, didn't need any more. Well, the Sarasota girls ran wild and free. They had all the pictures on the big marquee, living every minute like it might be the end of the world. All the boys came around in the Cadillac cars, wax mustaches and Havana cigars, champagne, caviar, diamonds and pearls. Ain't nothing but the best for the Sarasota girls. Well, the bar went quiet as a church on Monday, till somebody hollered out, "Drinks on me!" And somebody else dropped a nickel in the jukebox, little brown jug, hole number 3. The girls dragged the dead man out to a taxi back to the circus by the dawn's first light. And nobody said what they did with the body, but the lines wouldn't eat for the next 3 nights. And he kept the jug full of souvenirs she just might need it for a rainy day. She picked up an overnight reputation. That girl say what she means, mean what she say. The Sarasota girls taught her how to dance. She traveled with the circus all over the world. And every now and then you can hear how little Annie went the runaway child, the Sarasota girl. Yeah, the Sarasota girls ran wild and free. They had all the pictures on the big marquee, living every minute like it might be the end of the world. All the boys came around in the Cadillac cars, wax mustaches and Havana cigars, champagne, caviar, diamonds and pearls. Ain't nothing but the best for them Sarasota girls. Champagne, caviar, diamonds and pearls. Ain't nothing but the best for them Sarasota girls. A little Rayford Stark lick on the end there. Yeah, Jimmy is a nail-driving man. He's never been afraid to make a stand. Turning hard work working the houses all across this land. Yeah, Jimmy is a nail-driving man. Well, he grew up in them peanut fields in the western Georgia plains, putting row crops in the ground and praying for the rain. Red clay in his boots and underneath his fingernails, he picked them peanuts out the ground and they hauled them off for sale. Some years they set the market, some years they just got by. But every year Jimmy thanked the Lord for what he got. Yeah, Jimmy is a nail-driving man. He's never been afraid to make a stand, turning hard work into houses all across this land. Yeah, Jimmy is a nail-driving man. Well, Jimmy got into politics to set the poor man free, so we sent him up to the White House in Washington, D.C. He found out in the Beltway damn near everything's for sale. He stood up and he told the truth, he got run out on a rail. Well, he headed back for Georgia, said there ain't no time to pout. Put on his old overalls and he broke his hammer out. Yeah, Jimmy is a nail-driving man. He's never been afraid to make a stand, turning hard work into houses all across this land. Yeah, Jimmy is a nail-driving man. I'll drive on now. Well, every now and then old Jimmy hears his country call. He gets thrown into a hornet's nest and he tries to tame them all. Sometimes he gets the job done, sometimes it goes to hell. Well, some days you get peanut balls, some days you get shell. Well, he heads back to that hammer without a sideways glance, building roofs over people's heads that never stood a chance. Yeah, Jimmy's a nail-driving man. He's never been afraid to make a stand, turning hard work into houses all across this land. Yeah, Jimmy is a nail-driving man. Yeah, Jimmy is a nail-driving man. So this Sunday, June 8th, 2 to 4 o'clock, we'll be at Beluthahatchee Park. I will be playing an hour, or about an hour set, and the amazing Jeannie Fitchin will be following me, and it'll be a good afternoon of fun music and some poignant thoughts. Anyway, so on the Lake Beluthahatchee in Fruit Cove, Florida. Please come if you can, 2 to 4 at Beluthahatchee Park. Thanks for listening. Now if I can figure out how to turn this thing on.